Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Midday News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Uyi Agumofwegbe. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and free to air on Nightcomsat. President Bola Tinubu has directed the Attorney General of the Federation to ensure the immediate release of the minors detained by the Nigeria police in connection with last August's protests without prejudice to any ongoing legal processes. The directive came days after the 76 people, including 30 minors, were charged with treason and inciting a military coup after they were seen waving Russian flags during the End Bad Governance protest against economic hardship. Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, announced this to State House correspondents during an emergency briefing at the Aso Rock Villa in Abuja. Idris says after examining the circumstances surrounding the cases, the president had issued the directive and emphasized the importance of balancing legal processes with humanitarian concerns. A governor of Ondo State, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, has assured civil servants in the state that despite the financial challenges, his administration will never consider downsizing the workforce. He made this assertion during the 2024 Public Service Lecture held at the International Center for Culture and Events, the Dome in Akure, Ondo State capital. Governor Aiyedatiwa acknowledged the vital role the public service plays in national development, particularly in African countries. He stated that the public service needs to adapt and innovate to meet modern challenges, stating that the time has come for the service to be more proactive, innovative, dynamic, and technology-driven. He stated that the capacity of the institutions and their operators must be enhanced for effective and efficient service delivery.
Let me assure you that our commitment to prompt and regular payment of salaries, allowances, and pensions is sacrosanct. I want to assure you that even with the financial burden that all of these may attract, our administration will never, ever contemplate downsizing the workforce.
The governor also commended public servants for their dedication and cooperation over the past 10 months of his administration. He urged public servants to prioritize resource generation and management, advising them to block financial leakages and discourage frivolous expenditures.
In all honesty, the public service requires to be rejigged and equipped to upscale its roles and processes to meet the trends of the best work practices in public administration.
Earlier, the head of service, Bayo Philip, stressed the essential role of the public service in fostering forward-thinking governance and highlighted the administration's commitment to regular salary payments, pensions, and the provision of 2024 leave bonuses. He noted that this year's celebration emphasized the importance of public service in shaping a sustainable future for Ondo State.
We will strive at all times to discharge our responsibilities to facilitate the accomplishment of the policy focus of this administration. We will live up to the demands of our new mantra. Don't deliver short, don't deliver.
The governor further reiterated his administration's commitment to continue to prioritize the welfare of public servants even in the midst of other financial demands. Uyi Agumofwegbe reporting for Global Television News. The Federal Ministry of Works has directed Julius Berger, the contractor handling Section 1 rehabilitation of the Abuja-Kaduna Zaria-Kano dual carriageway, to evacuate people on site. This followed a 14-day final termination notice issued to the company, dismissing any possibility of further negotiations. The ministry says the termination is based on non-compliance with the reviewed cost, scope, and terms, stoppage of work, and refusal to mobilize to site as directed. It notes that negotiations had been ongoing for several months without any significant progress. A statement by Director of Press and Public Relations in the ministry, Mohammed Ahmed, disclosed this information, stressing that the decision is reached during a management meeting of the ministry at its headquarters. Society of Nigerian Broadcasters (SNB) has emphasized the need for national information policy as a foundation to guide ethical and responsible broadcasting across the country. In a statement, Vice President North Central of SNB, Ismail Sani, says such policy would ensure consistent and fair dissemination of accurate information to the public. He said it will also ensure equal access to reliable information across regions of the country, including rural areas, as well as promote media independence balanced with accountability to support industry's role in national development. Sani noted that the SNB, at its recent National Executive Committee meeting in Lafia, Nasarawa State, resolved to collaborate with government bodies, regulatory authorities, and private sector partners in order to advocate for priorities to create a broadcasting environment that would serve public interests, support national development goals, and uphold the integrity of the Nigerian media on local and international platforms. Ondo State Governor and the All Progressives Congress governorship candidate Lucky Aiyedatiwa says his administration will prevent cattle rustling and insecurity in the state to enable farmers to go to the farm. The governor made this known during the campaign tour in Akure North local government area. Kikelomo Okere has the details. Those details subsequently. Let's turn elsewhere now. The Academic Staff Union of Universities has differed with the federal government over the reported removal of the union from the Integrated Personnel and Payroll Information System, IPPIS. The Office of the Accountant General of the Federation had confirmed the deactivation of the IPPIS for federal tertiary institutions, giving the federal government's directive to remove some institutions from the system. Director of Press and Public Relations at the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, Bawa Mokwa, in an interview did say that it's only natural for the IPPIS platform for federal tertiary institutions to be shut down, given the federal government's directive to remove such institutions from the system. Operatives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, have arrested a former governor of Delta State, Ifeanyi Okowa, over the alleged diversion of 1.3 million naira derivation fund. The amounts in question amounted to 13% derivation fund from the Federation allocation accounts between 2015 and 2023. The Christian Association of Nigeria Ondo State Chapter has urged the governor and the governorship candidates of Ondo State's Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa to promote justice, equity, and fairness in all aspects of his governance in the state. President of the association, Reverend Father Olorunfemi Ologunwa, made the call at a church service to pray for peaceful conduct of Ondo State governorship election. Here's Kikelomo Okeri's report. We will bring you those details in the course of our news prime later today. But in a different development, because of terrorists roaming the area where Shiroro Kaduna transmission line is located, have been killed by the troops of the Nigerian Air Force who were deployed to provide cover for electricity workers repairing the line. Reports say the terrorists who were planning to wreak more havoc on the critical facilities and possibly kill the electricity workers were neutralized when the fighter jets of the force arranged airstrikes on them. President Bola Tinubu had directed the National Security Advisor, Minister of Defense, and service chiefs to order troops to provide cover for electricity workers to enable them carry out necessary repairs on the damaged infrastructure. You're watching the live broadcast of Media News on Global Television, coming to you from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. When the Media News returns, protesters demand KRA's resignation at NNPCL headquarters. We have those details as well as foreign and sports stories for you. We encourage you to stay with us. Let's turn to business quickly. Scores of youths have stormed the headquarters of the Nigeria National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, in Abuja, demanding immediate resignation of the group chief executive officer of the company, Mele Kyari. The protesters, led by some civil society organizations, described Kyari's leadership as incompetent, citing skyrocketing fuel prices, endless fuel queues, and economic hardship in the country. The protesters carried placards with different inscriptions such as "We demand the immediate resignation of Kyari," among others, say the leadership of the NNPCL has failed. The aggrieved youths, led by Abdullahi Bilal of the 2 Million Man March Against Oil Scam Cabal and Barrister Napoleon Otache, as well as Olayemi Isaac from Citizens and Economic Freedom Rights activists in Nigeria, demanded immediate action to address what they described as failed leadership in managing the country's oil sector. The newly appointed Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Jumoke Oduwole, has assured operators that the African Continental Free Trade Agreements will be utilized optimally to benefit Nigeria. She disclosed these after assuming duties shortly following the oath of office administered by President Bola Tinubu at the presidential villa in Abuja. This came as international businesses comprising exhibitors at the Lagos International Trade Fair 2024 complained that Nigeria is facing challenges in actualizing the idea, stressing that border inefficiencies had continued to hinder cross-border trade. In her address, Oduwole emphasized the need to reverse Nigeria's trade policies to create competitive jobs for the nation's youth. The Petroleum Products Retail Outlets Owners Association of Nigeria says the Dangote Petroleum Refinery is inconsiderate for selling petrol at 990 naira per litre, stressing that the company enjoyed massive concessions while accessing foreign exchange during its construction. The association also insisted that imported petrol is cheaper than the 990 naira per litre price of Dangote petrol, as major marketers recently revealed that the landing cost of imported petrol as of October 31, 2024 was 978 naira per litre. Dangote Refinery had alleged that the association and the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria were planning to import substandard petroleum products into the country. Reacting to this in a statement, the association's publicity secretary, Joseph Obele, insisted they will sell less than the current selling rate of PMS in Nigeria when granted an import license by the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, NMDPRA. Time to bring you some foreign stories now. The Director General, National Financial Investigation Agency in Equatorial Guinea, Basta Egonga, has been arrested for allegedly recording over 400 sex tapes of the wives of notable people in the country. The scandal emerged in the course of a fraud investigation against a 54-year-old economist, which resulted in the search of his house and office on impromptu notice by ANIF officials who had come across several CDs that later revealed his escapades with different married women. The videos reportedly include encounters with high-profile individuals, such as his brother's wife, his cousin, the daughter, a sister of the president of Equatorial Guinea, Director General of Police's wife, and about 20 of the country's ministers' wives, among others. The footage discovered in his personal office was said to have been recorded with consent and has since been leaked online, causing media uproar. Beyond Africa, Americans are now set to choose between Democrat Kamala Harris and Republican Donald Trump in the U.S. presidential election, which is closely watched across the world. The election also includes voting for Congress members who play a vital role in shaping U.S. laws. The winner will serve a 4-year term starting in January of 2025. In the Republican Party, former President Donald Trump emerged as a candidate with strong support over his competitors, choosing Ohio Senator J.D. Vance as his running mate, while Kamala Harris, the current vice president, stepped in as the Democratic candidate after President Joe Biden had decided not to run again. Her running mate is Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. Away from politics, let's turn to sports. Victor Osimhen is the only African player to make Sports Pro's top 50 most marketable athletes list for 2024, being ranked 44th ahead of Manchester City's Erling Haaland. The U.S. website used 3 metrics: brand strength, total addressable markets, and economics to determine the rankings, with Osimhen scoring higher than the Norwegian striker, who sits in 54th position. The Nigerian international recorded 24.18 in brand strength, 26.94 in total addressable markets, and 13.03% in economics for an aggregate marketability score of 64.15, while Haaland managed 22.8, 17.73 and 23.49 respectively, for a total of 64.02. American gymnast Simone Biles tops the list, with Real Madrid's Vinicius Jr. emerging as the highest ranked footballer in second place with 90.52 points. Let's talk boxing now. Anthony Joshua has been named among the top 3 highest earning boxers in 2024, despite suffering a shocking defeat to Daniel Dubois in September. The former 2-time heavyweight champion earned a guaranteed purse of £6 million from the Wembley Stadium bout, with additional pay-per-view revenue potentially pushing his earnings beyond £25 million if PPV buys reached 850,000. Only Tyson Fury and Canelo Alvarez earned more than the British-Nigerian pugilists this year, with the Gypsy King banking an enormous $100 million from his historic, undisputed heavyweight clash against Alexander Usyk in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia in May. Mexican superstar Alvarez secured north of $35 million for his successful undisputed super heavyweight title defense against compatriots Jamie Mongula at the T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas. That's according to boxing journalist Dan Rafael. And as your midday news, just a quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV, channel 365, Star Times 276, and free to air on Nightcomsat. We encourage you to follow us across all social media platforms using a Global TV NG, as well as other handles as you now see on your screen. I am Agumofwegbe, and here's wishing you the best of the rest of your day.